Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
A year ago, I wrote a book titled The Final Solution, and I was trying to say to the rest of the world that there are challenges ahead. Now, a prophecy did come, and that prophecy is coming to pass. But I'm telling you, the final solution has been found many years ago in the Bible, because the Bible simply says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to the people. So I want you to know that you can get solutions to problems in Ukraine, in Russia, in Nigeria, indeed all parts of the world. We need that solution, and the solution is straightforward. Please get a copy of my book. Is the Final Solution by Bishop Schengen Johnson, and you can find it in Kindle, in Amazon. Just type Bishop Schengen Johnson, The Final Solution. It will come. It's very, very small book you can read within 2 hours, but it contains the final solution. Do get a copy. Not getting it is doing disservice to humanity. Don't forget the final solution.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Yes, good morning, viewers around the world. You are welcome to SSM Friday International Affairs. My name is Godwin Iwejuwan. Today it will be a very brief one because I'm all alone in the studio. We know how it is for our coordinators to also find time to join us. And we do appreciate what they've been putting in. So let's just run through these short stories we have around the world. First of all, we're hearing that President of the United States, Donald Trump, will be meeting with Putin in Hungary for a second talk on how this war, the war in Ukraine, Russia, could come to an end. So we'll be looking out for that meeting. He says he made a call to Vladimir Putin on Thursday, and the two agreed to meet face to face to talk in Hungary. So that's the update coming from United States and Russia plan to end the war in Ukraine. Also, we heard other news from the other part of the world. Bolivia will be going on its election on the 20th. Bolivia is that South American country, oil-rich country, but a lot of things are happening there. Drug cartel runs most of its neighbors, most of its territory. But Bolivia will be going to election on the 20th of this year, of this month, and hopefully a change of governance could bring a change in so many things, economics, social life, and the well-being of the Bolivians. Also this morning, there's this news that came in as a surprise. John Bolton, we all know John Bolton, one time President Trump's advisor. He has been criminally indicted. John Bolton might spend the rest of his life in prison. What happened, like we all know, was he was a friend to Trump and all of a sudden became a foe. He became an enemy because of some of the things he was saying against Trump. So John Bolton is now being indicted. That's an advisor, a political advisor, security advisor in the United States. So these are some of the international updates we have. Now coming to the local news. In Nigeria, we heard Peter Obi has accused our president, Nigerian President Tinubu, of making 50 million people go into poverty. So joining me from Russia is our top man, Dr. Godwin Ibe. Dr. Godwin, I never knew you'd make it. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Wow, it's good to see you. It's been quite some time. I hope you guys are doing well in Russia. I hope the weather has not taken a different turn. Is it very cold? Is it still mild? What's the weather like there?
Yeah, it's still mild,
Okay.
although it's the usual flu season. So
The
yeah,
flu
we
is out
find a
now.
lot of symptoms of flu all around,
Yeah,
but it is basically okay.
very good. Thank you for coming, Dr. Godwin. We were just talking of the agreement between Trump and Russia to meet face to face the second time. We remember they met the other time in Alaska. So, what's that news? Do you have it? Trump,
Yeah,
Putin in Hungary.
yes, yes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not privy to private information. Only have access to the one released publicly.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also add not only my opinions, but the general perception on the ground here, and
Yeah.
maybe with my colleagues around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from the it's a follow up to the first meeting,
Okay.
which was held in Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the details of that first meeting were not released to the public.
Yes.
Um, yes, but there was an agreement that there was at least both sides agreed that there were
Going to meet
some
again.
basic. Yeah, there was going to be today's meeting, and there was some agreement that um, there are problems, and they have to look at it through the lens of national interest, and they were
Okay.
able to identify some areas where there were divergence and where there were convergence, and agree to work more on the topic. So
Mm.
that is was leading to the second meeting, but we also
Mm-hmm.
agreed that there were frustrations expressed by the
Okay.
president of the United States, President Trump, on
Mm-hmm.
saying it hasn't been going as far as he expected, or as quick as he expected the progress. And
Okay.
that has led to him not yet agreeing, but allegedly agreeing to release Tomahawks to Ukraine
Tomahawk.
side. Yeah, Tomahawk missiles. From the part of the Russian side has said it's an escalation. Is going to put an end to the positive progress that have been made through the talks, considering the fact that Tomahawk is actually an offensive weapon, and it would actually carry not only conventional payload but also nuclear payload. When a
Okay.
Tomahawk is flying, you cannot tell what kind of payload it carries,
Mm,
and so it's dangerous. So it could lead to a nuclear escalation very quickly.
mm. Dr. Godwin, good one. You see, this is why we need you here to give us that real insight into the issue. Now, let's know this. Do you think that this second talk might completely end the war? What's your view? This
No,
second
I
talk,
don't. No, I
you,
don't think so. Mm-mm.
you don't think so?
Not a slight chance.
Okay,
For many reasons.
okay,
First of all, Russia is winning on the battleground, taking more
absolutely.
territories. Yeah,
Hmm.
taking more territories. It's not as quick or as large as one would say is taking the whole of Ukraine. No,
Hmm.
but for the Donbass and the other nearby regions, it seems to be making steady progress. There
Hmm.
is no incentive to end in that regard. Secondly,
Hmm.
the root causes of the problem have not been addressed, in the
Okay.
sense that Ukraine is not just only Russia's strategic interest and national interest,
Hmm.
or see it as from a self-existential point of view, but
Hmm.
also because Kiev is the birthplace of the Russian civilization, Kiev Rus,
That's
and
correct.
Russian
Yes.
language was banned in Russia, even in the eastern parts,
Mm,
which are predominantly Russians. So the Russian culture, the Russian language, never addressed.
mm,
And then the expansion of NATO into Ukraine was never expressed. Instead, it's like kicked down the road.
okay.
They're saying that they won't join NATO in the next 10 years. But what will happen after 10 years?
Wow.
So the ceasefire will be seen as an excuse to militarize Ukraine, to add more military hardware and the support staff to control them. So that is why it's not apart from the saving the loss of lives on both sides, which are horrific. Both sides are suffering losses, but at the same time, allowing Ukraine to build up military hardware through the excuses of a ceasefire is also not acceptable to Russia. So does seem to be a slight chance that this second, unless the West decides that it's going to take its hands off Ukraine, which is
Ukraine,
also unlikely.
unlikely.
So that's why I don't see any chance in that.
Very unlikely. Now, off a little off from that side, Trump has made some efforts with this whole conflict resolution, trying to stop not just Russia, Ukraine, also other countries. And 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we saw the Nobel Peace Prize being given to a woman that ordinarily a lot of people don't know, except probably you follow world events, you follow
I know,
news.
of course.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that? This whole
Venezuela
thing. I
opposition
mean,
figure.
what do you think? I mean, Trump has done some impressive thing. We see the Gaza, the Hamas Israel situation almost coming to an end, even though there are still some issues. What will you say about them not giving Trump Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, this is me from Russia saying that
Hmm.
President Trump has done a fantastic job in
Nice,
terms of
nice.
peace.
Yeah.
It's just we have to be as objective as possible. He has
Hmm.
strived for peace and even tried to make peace, including with Russia, Ukraine, with no
Hmm.
exception.
Hmm.
He's left an olive branch to Russia, and even many are saying that all these things that are going on is just Trump trying to buy time for
Okay.
Russia to finish off the job.
Okay.
It's because he doesn't want an escalation. He really wants to face China. China is his real pain in the butt, not Russia. And he would really like to move the military hardware and supply and logistics to the Pacific. But this is a distraction for him. So yeah, he has done a lot for peace, and
Mm-hmm.
naturally should deserve the Peace Prize, if not for two reasons. The first one is the decision was made before some of this is peace efforts,
Efforts.
as per tradition, and then
Um,
secondly, he has also done some escalations in some ways by
in
bombing the
some
hell
ways.
out of Iran. Yes, by allow bombing. Now it's very, very scary to have a boat that is sailing across close to Florida, because it could just be shot off the sky from
That's true.
shot off from the sky by
Mm-hmm.
Air
Mm-hmm.
Force, saying you are carrying drugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's very dangerous moment to have a boat, a
Moment now.
simple boat. Yeah. So
Good
so
one.
based on that, yeah.
Yeah, I also added to some of the things happening. I don't know if you heard this morning, last night, his former advisor, security advisor, John
Steve
Bolton.
Bannon. John
Yeah,
Bolton rather.
John Bolton is now being criminally indicted. You know that story? And people are
Yes,
saying,
yes.
why is it? Because John Bolton started speaking against Trump. This was his boss the other time in his earlier
Yeah.
4-year term. John
But
Bolton. What? Mhm.
it reveals a bigger problem.
Okay.
Focusing on John Bolton is just smoke. The main
Just
fire is that his MAGA base is frustrated, is fed
okay.
up with him, with Trump, because of the Trump's promise of no wars,
No worries.
and the war in Gaza, bombing of Iran. A lot of people are fed up with that, and that's the first reason. And the second reason, which is palpable, is
Mhm.
the Epstein file, and
File. That's
the
the file. The
feeling.
file is more of the issue. Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Hmm.
it's not more of an issue, because that's a
Okay.
group of people, but the involvement in wars is of a more grand scale
Hmm.
economically, that affects
Okay.
the livelihood of
Yeah,
Americans, right?
that's correct.
And then
Yeah.
the third reason is the what do you call it? The influence of Israel through their
Israel
APAC and lobby group over Americans.
over America.
All animals are not equal in America. The
Ah.
Israelis or the Jews seem to be much on a higher
All right. All right.
level.
Hold tight. Hold tight, doctor. Also, George is here from Toronto, Canada. George, good morning. We know how we put you up early to be here. Good morning, George. George, go ahead.
Sir George, welcome.
I think he's not. He's still
Yeah, good
trying.
morning.
Can you hear? Aha. Go ahead. Okay. So yes. I think George has slight issue there. Yes.
Mm.
You were saying it. So
Yeah, I
John
gave
Bolton is
three
going to.
reasons. Three reasons
Mhm.
of the bigger problem with the
Yeah.
MAGA base,
The micro base
and yeah, and he needs to not see it as a John Bolton problem or a Steve
Uh,
problem.
Bannon problem, but really
Mhm.
things that need to be looked at as in the interest of
I
his
can hear you,
base.
but the voice is going in and out. And the viewers from around the world, welcome to Godwin. It's such a joy
Mhm.
having you with us again to see your faces.
Thank you, Sir Joy, seeing you too.
All right, George. George, we are
Can you
discussing
hear
real
me?
international affairs here. We
Freezing.
can hear you, even though it's freezing, but we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hmm.
George,
Beautiful.
international issues going on here. We've just talked about Trump and Putin meeting up a second time. Remember the first one, and now we're talking about some of Trump's plans. I mean, um, uh, we talked about the Epstein file that people say he's also part of. Godwin is giving us reasons why.
Oh,
He,
okay.
yes, go ahead. Go ahead, George. All right. I think George still has to check his stuff. Yeah. So yes, Godwin. But what matters now is that John Bolton has been indicted, and he might spend the rest of his life in prison because what they said is the FBI has some real strong evidence, some criminal indicted charges against him, and they feel that man, the guy might go in.
Well,
So
everyone knows he's politically motivated.
okay,
He would not survive the next if the next president, of course, Donald Trump won't get a third term, right? If
no, he
all
can't get
goes
it.
on, so it's more
Mhm.
likely maybe a Democrat comes in. If a Democrat comes in, for example, if not a
Mm-hmm.
Republican again, even if a Democrat comes in, it's too bad for John Bolton
Too
because
bad
no
for
one will
Trump.
release him. But if another Republican who is a little bit more moderate and has nothing personal against
Mm-hmm.
John Bolton, is likely to see it as political motivated, and probably it will be revisited.
Revisited. Good. George. Okay. I don't think Judge has to get okay. Let's move on to some other international issues too. Also yesterday in the news, we had Netanyahu was Israel. Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has said that there are still more victims of that October 7 attack, and he's determined to secure the return of all, even if it's dead bodies, dead hostages, and any Israeli held in with the Hamas people. So, do you think that because Hamas is saying they don't have and they can't locate any more bodies, they've given some out, they've given the ones they can locate, they've given to Israel. Do you think this will also bring out small hostility? I mean, if he keeps insisting that the bodies must all be returned, uh, I mean, this. What do you say, Godwin? Israel,
No,
Hamas.
do we just call a spade a spade? The October 7 attack was horrible, horrendous, but
Hmm.
also so as the occupation of Gaza for a long time, also
Hmm.
equally probably even more horrendous, and then the going in and just leveling up civilians even more horrendous. But
More.
we all know that Israel was looking for a pretext to just to occupy and to take up how do they say it, reclaim many of those lands in the West Bank and
Hmm.
equally Gaza, both Gaza
Hmm.
and the West Bank.
Hmm.
And any opportunity to screw up this peace deal will be accepted by Israel, obviously.
Hmm.
We won't hesitate to just go in and do a second demolition and take more. Uh, and that is my opinion on it.
Okay.
I believe that the peace deal is good, but it does not have enough substance for a long
Hmm.
term because it does not recognize a two-state solution and it still sees Israel only as a Jewish state. So it's very fragile at best. And the motivation of Israel is clearly well known. We can also ignore the motivation of Hamas to eliminate Israel. You understand? But when we
Hmm.
talk about firepower and
Firepower.
means to achieve the motivation, Israel has the much upper hand.
Israel has much upper hand. Georgie, can you
Yes.
coordinate now? Go ahead.
Yeah.
We really want to hear you. Go
Okay.
ahead, George.
Well, yeah. One of the things that I want us to talk about is, the fact is
Yes.
this: when you're dealing with a fragile situation, a volatile situation like the Hamas and Israel situation. Now, when
Hmm.
Trump gave those 20 points conditions, we know that it's not going to complete. They're not going to meet it up. Now, part of the body, 8 bodies has been returned out of the 20 that is missing, and one of
Hmm.
those was not one of the captured people. Now,
Okay.
the question we're going to ask ourselves is this: now, we know that it will be almost impossible for them to meet all those conditions. Now, one of the
Yes.
great things that has happened is that, the living hostages have already been returned. Now, what not meeting these conditions, number one, to disarm, because we saw recently when Hamas was jubilating over certain things and they were banishing out their guns all over the place. Do
Hmm.
you think that they are completely going to disarm? And if they don't disarm the way Trump wants them to disarm, what do you
Hmm.
think will happen next?
Okay.
Because 80% of this particular place has already been destroyed. 80.
80.
80% has been destroyed already. So now, can you imagine what is going to happen? Okay, they're planning on meeting together to put an interim government who is going to govern the place for a while and all those type of
Hmm.
things. So what I'm afraid of, and legitimately so, is that Benjamin Netanyahu, number one, is already part of the reason why he's prolonging this war is simply because of the court case, which we know that Trump recently was, say, I have an idea. Mr. President, can you forgive him? Can you let him go? Can you just,
Mhm.
just let those criminal charges go? That's
Go.
what he's saying. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu also knows that if he goes into election very soon, he's going to lose, and he doesn't want to do that. So
Mhm.
now, what do you think will happen when all the bodies are not returned? Because this is one of the conditions. What do you think will happen if they do not disarm completely? I can
Escalation.
guarantee you that the operation
Godwin,
will eventually continue.
Godwin says escalation. So more.
It's
But
going to
also,
happen
yes.
The
unless,
motivation is there. The motivation is there. The means is there. What are
okay.
you?
Another thing also that you got to understand, when Donald Trump says anything, think
Mhm,
about it. He never leaves his mind. He wants to
mhm.
make this place a Riviera. That even after
He said,
all these, the Turkey and the U.S. and other places, they put in, the new government eventually to turn it over to the, to the people of that place. I can
mhm,
guarantee you it's almost an impossible task to achieve. So what
mm,
we are now looking for, the little number of people that are left in that place, he's already suggested, let's find a place to put them all in. Let's go in and rebuild that place to be a beautiful place to Riviera that
beautiful place
can be,
indeed.
yes, it's still at the back of his mind.
Mm,
Donald Trump never, when he says things, he never leaves it alone. He will
mm.
push and push until he achieves this. That is my major fear. And also, another thing that I am concerned about, the little children, the older
Oh,
people. These are the innocent victims. Innocent victims. So
innocent.
it's not over. It's not over yet.
It's
Yeah,
not
30,
over.
33 leaders shaking hands, 20 nations coming over there. It is all a tactical show.
Mm. All
Judge's views have changed over the course of time. I'm
I
impressed. I'm
tell you,
surprised.
no,
Positively
no.
impressed.
He gave
I I
George.
mean I didn't feel enough empathy to the people in Gaza before.
Mhm,
But we see the motivation, and I was waiting. I asked the question. I said, if you have the motivation, you have the means. What are you waiting for? The simple answer is opportunity.
mm.
Opportunity. Look, only waiting for opportunity. That's all you're waiting for, and you will grab the first one that comes. It's horrible. I mean, no one is excusing the horrific October 7. I always say so many times, but the Jews are not only Israelites or those living in Israel. We have Jews all around the world. And many of them also air their views and say, this Zionism or trying to recapture
Zionist.
people's lands
Mhm,
and all of these expansion. Maybe it's not the best for Israel. Maybe it's try to forge peace with the neighboring. How could the whole
mhm,
world hate you? The whole world. If you put sanction, for example, if you try to push a sanction on Russia through the United Nations General Assembly, it will not pass. It will not
mhm,
pass. But if you
mhm.
would try to say sanction on Israel in the United Nations General Assembly, it will pass.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
No,
absolutely
you
crazy.
see, some of the
You
things,
know,
Dr. Godwin, you see, some of the things that when I say we here that understand the spiritual aspect of what is going on,
Yeah.
when
That is.
we discuss it,
Mhm.
we don't bring it into the news, but we understand the spiritual aspect
What's
of
up?
this whole entire thing. So, number
Mhm,
one is we already know that part of the reason now, the opportunity is there for Benjamin Netanyahu because of the firepower and because they touch the tail, the tiger by the tail, and therefore he is using that opportunity to actually achieve a long-term goal. They have been seeking opportunity. Now watch this. And I say this, when I say this thing, sometimes it will sound like somebody coming from Venus or Mars and just saying all those things. Let me tell you something else. The next thing that is going to happen, and it's going to be a world Israel will be hated more. Is either going to be an earthquake? Is either going to be some kind of missile or something that will happen to the Dome of the Rocks, which is sitting where the temple will be built? I don't know how that is going to happen. But when that thing comes down, when it comes down, because Israel cannot build their temple on as long
mhm,
as that dome of the rock is there, and that is the reason why they're still waiting, because they have already gathered everything to build the temple. But time is what is happening. When that eventually happens, then you will see the world come against Israel, and then you know that the end is near. So that is something I said. No, no,
All
no,
right.
no, no. You see, when
Okay.
we voice these things out, everybody will look at you and say, "This guy just woke up from a dream." But it is no, it's going to happen. So, but let me talk a
All
little
right.
bit about
That's an
John Bolton.
evangelical view.
This one is evangelical view now,
No, no,
George.
no, no,
Is a
no, no.
biblical view.
What
Not many people read
historically,
understand
when
this.
the Dome of the Rock was built, it was built in the temple precinct. Part of that part is the outer court of the temple precinct. They cannot build that place unless that thing comes down. They're not
All
saying
right.
it, but I'm predicting that eventually that will come. But let me talk a little
Come.
bit about John Bolton. You see,
Yeah.
I think you guys discussed it because
Yes.
in
Yes.
the
Yes. Tell
prosecutor
them.
said that Bolton sent over 1,000 pages of a diary style notes containing sensitive national security details to people close to him while
Mm-hmm.
serving in the White House. Is that
Yes.
true? We don't know. A lot of lawyers are saying that they have evidence to prove that this is so. But after what happened with a couple of Trump's enemies, per se, political enemies,
Friends
uh,
turn to foes, turn to
foes,
enemies.
and
They were
two of
all
them are
friends.
already there. Two of them are already being indicted. So it looks as if that this is a witch hunt, which
No, it's clear.
knowing Donald Trump,
That doesn't look like
knowing
it. It's
Donald
clear.
Trump, I don't know because you never know.
It's
He
clear.
goes
It's
after his
clear. I
enemy.
think
Huh?
It's clear. It's clear. It's a witch hunt. It's
it's
very
clear. It's a
obvious.
Okay,
Yeah.
politically
of course we
motivated.
know
At
that it
least
is.
politically motivated.
Exactly.
Let,
It's
let,
also
let, let me reduce the level. Not witch hunt, but politically motivated.
okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good. So,
All right, guys. Thank you so
and the
much.
problem
Okay.
is that
Mhm.
each count is 10 counts. Each, I mean, how many counts? 18. Each
18
one carry,
counts.
yeah,
Yeah.
each one carries 10 years.
So
10 years.
that's what we said. Yeah, that's what I said. What I said. Bolton might just spend the rest of his life.
Well,
Well, he had so many enemies. The guy is very. You know, there's one thing to have so many enemies and not have money. I mean, a lot of wealth and power to be
Okay.
able to protect yourself. Like, I mean, John Bolton he's been a disruptor. I mean, he's seen as a disruptor, as someone who just says what he wants, irrespective of how you feel about it.
Feels about it.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really difficult to say who is a friend to John Bolton on the political. Except the only thing uniting them is all grievances against Trump. And aside from that, there's nothing else really uniting the people who
But
speak those
also
dialects.
they tend to forget that Bolton has put to work. He has done a lot also for United States as a politician. Yes, he has done a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Bolton has been there, even in United Nations. So many players representing the country.
He's pro
So,
America in terms of hardline nationalist. Hardline nationalist. It's a
okay.
very distinct, persona, and
Mm-hmm.
in that regard, you tend towards the new conservative and the new liberals. This is not a party thing. It's not limited to Democratic Party or to the conservatives. It's a new movement. So
Movement.
these are the places where he's more likely going to get sympathy. But because it's usually for selfish interest, economic interest, military industrial complex shares, military shares, and all of that. A lot of people who are the middle class and the lower class are out of touch with the new movement. So
New movement.
it's a tough sell.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nice. Let's do a small thing on Bolivia. Let's go to South America. Bolivia will be going to the poll on the 19th. That's on Sunday. I don't know if you guys have some info on that, but what we know is that it has been a conservative country, a rich country also. Bolivia has some natural resources there, but it has not been fairly well economically. So what people are looking at is maybe a change of government might usher in something different in this beautiful country that has mountains around it and the Amazon basin forest also uh, in large large number there. Bolivia, Dr. Godwin, what do you think when the election happens? Do you think there might be a change from the normal status quo of governance to a new kind of leadership? You think so?
Well, I'm a bit skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is only most of the time
Mm-hmm.
the thing that changes in a country is the allegiance of the elites.
Okay.
So when the elites have allegiance to one party, for example, they are pro-West,
Mm-hmm.
they begin to build the relationship with the West, and if they
The
turn out to be
West.
pro-East, they begin to
Mm-hmm.
build relationship
Mm-hmm.
with China and all the rest.
Yes.
It's all for the interest of the political elite. They could say whatever they want. They could take advantage of the frustrations, the
Mm-hmm.
difficulties, the challenges by the populace. But what will eventually make progress is two things. If the people are able to, if the approval rating stays high, if the people are
Mm-hmm.
able to change the
Mm-hmm.
government at will through a real democratic process, that's the power remains with the people, then it makes the elite to sit up and try to please them. But if the
Okay.
elites do not have any wish, desire, or oblige to please the people, then they are going to continue to do what is in their interest, and that could be
Interest.
pro-east or pro-west.
That could be pro East or pro West.
We can see
Georgie.
it in Europe, for example. In Europe, for example, now
Mm-hmm.
the elites,
Mm-hmm.
we see a lot of deindustrialization. We see deflation in China, in even Germany, powerhouse of Europe. We
Mm-hmm.
understand the effects of the purchasing of Russian energy has done to the economy. But all the same, the political
A lot
ideology of the elites
damage,
win.
a damage to the European
Yes,
economy. You
European
guys hit
economy,
us
but
below the belt, below the
no,
belt.
no, we didn't hit you.
Yeah,
It was
do
self-imposed
you know?
sanctions.
Do you know?
It was
It,
Europe that decided not
it,
to
it
buy
has
you.
affected every aspect of the economy of Europe, even to the least thing you can think of. Transport. um I mean, guess what? Your cup of coffee, our cup of coffee here has added all because of that the action
No,
of
talk of
It's
shooting
true.
yourself on the foot. Talk of shooting yourself on the foot, right? It's no. The Russia didn't say we don't. We are not selling. We have closed shop. You just say I won't buy because I believe
Wumba.
this. I believe that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Georgie. So
Mm.
we're still on Bolivia. What do you have on that South American country going to the poll on Sunday?
The
Will there
19th,
be
October
change?
19th.
Yes.
Well, it
Yes.
will change. It will change because what we're seeing is Senator Rodrigo Paz of the Democratic Party and the former
Mm-hmm.
President George Jaguros representing the Liberal Alliance. What we're seeing
Mm-hmm.
here is a shift in the type of governance. I think,
They've always
the conservatives go from top to bottom, liberals go from bottom up. That's what you always
okay.
see. So now socialistic tendency that they have had for the past 20 years is about to shift. And
Mm-hmm.
since this guy is from I don't know if I'll call it from the left, a Christian conservative person, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
type of governance and the people that are there now, everything will change eventually.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's possible that it will change. Now, if you win and have the House and the Senate, then your laws will pass. But once you
Mm-hmm.
have the leader we have having a
Standing
type of
alone.
yeah,
Standing alone.
it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
for you to be able to move anywhere. So, and the
Yes.
people are used to these socialistic tendencies of a governance. Now, to bring them into a conservative aspect where capitalism might even take over, it might be a struggle to get there. So, this is what we
Okay.
are, looking at. So, it is very possible that things will shift. It might not be immediate, but it might take time.
Mm.
Look at a great example, Giorgia Meloni of Italy.
Mhm.
After she
Mm-hmm.
came into power, she was all really nationalist. And then when
Mm-hmm.
she came into power, what happened? Complete 180, yes? Complete,
Yes.
yes?
Yeah,
It's
because you have to follow EU dictates. The center
complete 180.
EU has power over all of his
He just
countries.
took
So
one visit from von der
can't.
Leyen. That's all. Yes.
You can't be that same person that vote. The words you speak during campaign, during election.
That's
No,
exactly
no,
what
no.
I'm saying. You can
Tons
imagine.
Exactly
of-
what he's saying. But you see, that's exactly the point there. You can actually, that the public is shifting their views into something.
Mhm,
You go in there with that narrative, you tell them
yeah,
what they want to hear. But when you
exactly.
get in, the
Absolutely.
power that be will call you privately and say, hey, slow down.
Yeah.
You're going to destroy
All
things
right.
for us.
All
And
right,
if you don't do that, you're going to be out
mhm.
very soon.
You go be out very soon. Gentlemen, we didn't take a break because we want to make it fast. Let's run two topics, two issues, and there we go. Our one-time presidential candidate, Peter B, strongly accuses Tinubu, President Tinubu and his APC government of driving 50 million Nigerians into poverty. He came real strong. Take note, both of them were in Italy. There's the Fatima celebration we have here in the Catholic Church. So Peter Obi came here to pray to Fatima, and Tinubu also was here on the security meeting with some other West African countries and King of Jordan. Now, he made some utterance here, that's Peter Obi, and he went back home and continued. And he's saying it boldly. Gentlemen, are Peter Obi's words true? Has 50 million Nigerians been driven into poverty? Let's talk factual now. Is Nigeria going down or moving up the scale? George, let me start with George. George, you've
Well,
always.
Peter Obi,
Mhm.
Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi. Yeah, he's actually. What the guy is talking about is factually true. Now
You
we know that.
agree?
Oh, I
Mhm.
do agree because
For last
anybody
time, you
that
were saying
is
some
only
numbers.
listen to this now, blind, deaf, and dumb individual who is either religiously or ethnically motivated can say, oh, it is not true. The eyes on the ground is one thing. What you called it a tactical statistical analysis and all those things, is also true. But when it does not trickle down to the masses are still suffering in Nigeria, like it or not. Speak truth to power. Yes, Peter Obi, what he's saying, there are many lives being lost today due to malnutrition. Lives are lost today because of lack of opportunities in Nigeria. And yes, indeed, our president, he got good ideas. But number one, you can have the best idea in the world. You can be the best surgeon in the world. If you're a brain surgeon and somebody brings you a woman who is about to give birth to a baby, and you've never practiced that, Dr. Ibe can tell us more about this, you can kill the woman. So now implementation is one thing, having a good idea is another. We saw what brought the whole nation into chaotic economic despair, and that was the first few days after he entered in. So now, what we are saying is you can have good ideas, but please make sure that you prepare yourself ahead. President Tinubu, if he had waited to get into office, study the whole entire situation, and then find a cushioning, policies before saying the subsidy is over, the people would have been prepared. It would not have hit them so hard. If you
Okay.
have entered into the office and studied
Mhm.
intensely the ramifications of, changing the Naira situation the way it was, it would have been easier on the people. But if you're sitting on top and don't have anybody telling you the truth from the bottom, that's exactly what we are suffering today. P2B is not lying. People are dying daily. Go to Nigeria, call your own people. Call your people today, especially in the north and in the southeast. People are
All right.
dying. So now,
George, this is like Melanie making a 180-degree
no,
turnaround in her statement.
listen, we are
Because
telling
last time
the
you and
truth.
BD went back and forth, and you were
But
saying no
I
numbers.
support.
He's saying
I'm
this.
behind Tinubu.
All
I'm
right, all right.
behind Tinubu.
Let's hear.
I'm behind.
Let's hear.
I'm
Let's hear
APC, but I
Tinubu.
got to
Let's hear.
tell the truth.
Yeah. let's hear Dr. Godwin. Dr. Godwin, he did not just say 50 million people have become poor. He also says 139 million Nigerians are now living below the line, the poverty line. These are real strong issues here. Dr. Godwin, what's your
Anyway,
take?
I'm smiling because of the emotions I see expressed by George on the topic.
Yes, very
Um,
emotional.
yes, yes,
She made
but
there.
let us be honest. Why Peter Obi, there are elements of truth to what Peter Obi said, and I said elements of truth. It's also not the complete truth. It's a politically motivated speech, which has
Okay.
elements of truth at best. And what I did, because it talks of the negatives without highlighting the positives, and it's not a
Exactly.
complete picture. The positives, do I start with the negatives or start with positive? For me, it makes no difference. But let us talk
Mhm.
about the poverty level. Yes, there is a lot of high poverty level. Is everyone agrees that there's increasing inflation. No one denies that. Infrastructure is dilapidated and needs can do with a lot of improvement. No one denies that. The debts are very high. No one denies that. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the positive side. GDP growth is 4%. It's one of the highest in a long time. 3.9. It's expected to be 4.4, 4.5. The actual debt is decreasing. It is to decrease for the first time in a decade. So while it has been increasing, expected to decrease for the first time in a decade. And our foreign reserves are at the highest level in a
Okay.
very long time. Last but not the least, the economy of Nigeria is moving from an oil economy to a non-oil economy because there was increase in the share or percentage of the non-oil sector, the services sector, and the agricultural sector.
Sector,
So these
okay.
are the positives. So you cannot say only about the negative without saying the positive, and it will be purely political, right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of improvement that Tinubu can make. There's a lot of hardship that he can improve on the things he has done, so that
Okay.
those benefits can trickle down to the average masses, which are not feeling it. Even though, I mean, it's a macroeconomic outlook, but the microeconomic aspect also has to be improved, especially with the inefficiencies in supply chain, the bureaucratic red tape, the long term is taking, and then also the disconnect with the charges that are put for some services with the income of the disposable income of the average Nigerian.
Mm.
Now,
So,
now,
okay, George is coming back.
now.
Uh-huh. Go
No,
ahead, George.
you see, because okay, yeah, I believe what you were saying. Okay, the point about it is you cannot tell an elderly woman who have not gotten anything to eat and cannot go to the market and buy things because naira is so weak that the micro and the macro they don't know understand all those things. The bottom
Don't
line to
understand.
it is, no, they don't. The bottom line to it is this. Okay, yeah, P2B cannot come and begin to point out all these great things that Tinubu has done already. Okay, he cannot, because then he'll be shooting himself on the foot. No, politically, yes, that's he's doing what he's supposed to do, and I believe that Tinubu understands that also. But if you look at it, all the indicators, it is moving the right way. Now, he did not start good. He did not start good. Number one of the major problems why he didn't start good was because our lame duck ex late president, unfortunately, did not do anything, didn't do anything for Nigeria. He brought our country into a chaotic state. It was like Nigeria became a sleeping dog, that wasn't moving anywhere. So number one, so he inherited a very
He
devastating
couldn't go
economy.
lower. He couldn't go lower. Let me put it
You
that way.
Okay,
couldn't,
it couldn't go lower. That's it.
you couldn't
So
go
now,
lower.
when the man came in, he felt like he was in a desperate situation. I gotta do something. I gotta do something. But that
Mhm.
is was the wrong move. Now look at it after 2 years. Things are moving slowly, but it's getting to the right place. Gas prices are stabilizing. Thank God for Dangote. Rice prices are coming a little lower.
Oil
So
production is actually increasing as well.
oil production is actually increasing. So all these indicators are there, which is the long-term effect of his his economic policies. So it is moving in the right direction.
I'm
And
probably
then,
prowess. I'm probably prowess.
yeah. So
Go ahead.
anyway, and these are the points and the pluses for him.
Him. Okay.
Now, in the long
Okay.
run, I honestly
Mhm.
believe that given another 4 years, we will come out of most of these difficulties that we have been in. Now,
Okay.
I know that
Let's,
there are still a
let's,
lot of things. We are still borrowing highly, and I don't know
mhm,
the reason
mhm.
behind those borrowings, but we're
Borrowing
still
habit.
borrowing so highly. Our debt to ratio with the economy and the growth is not, it's not anywhere to smile about. So that's the problem there.
The debt to GDP ratio should decrease for the first time in 10 years. And if we continue down that path, it's a positive line. So with that being said, it's good to have a balanced, objective view of the situation rather than go
Yes.
along
Exactly.
Very
with
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
political party rhetoric, right?
Yeah, but
Wow.
when you talk from
Thank,
bottom up,
thank,
when you
all right.
talk from bottom up, it doesn't look good for Tinubu. But when you come from the middle up, it looks great because things are looking much brighter and better.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. You both said it the way it sounds balanced. Finally, let's just talk about our man Nnamdi Kanu Nnamdi, the IPOB conveyor.
Figure, political
Yeah,
figure.
figure. Now
Excuse me.
the NMA panel, that's Nigerian Medical Association, has said that he's fit to run. He's fit to be in
Stand
court.
trial. Stand trial.
Yes, gentlemen, let's talk about this because some people say the Igbo man eh, doesn't support himself. They did it. I mean, so much going on social space over this issue. Um, Godwin, do you think that he's fit, and even if he's fit, the charges against him, does he? Is it really? Has he really committed those crimes?
It's not my fit. It's not his fitness that's crucial to me in this.
Mhm.
It's a distraction from the main issue.
The
He's
main
in
issue.
prison because he's politically motivated. He may
Okay.
have done some things, but compared to what others have done, or to the Tom, Dick, and Harry that have gotten pardon and presidential pardon,
Yes, you said
it,
so.
it it
Earlier.
begs it begs the question of why he's still there. And I said, I think in one of our chats, like the DSS, if they were able to violate court order, and no one could hold anybody in contempt of the court. I think if President Tinubu wants to release him, it just takes only one directive, and then he's released, and he can the judges can go on vacation or face other more important issues.
Mhm.
I think I understand some people think that okay, um, he shouldn't be given a pardon because he's not yet convicted. But we are speaking figuratively. We don't mean pardon. We mean actually directive. I
Mhm.
mean, it doesn't matter what come of directive. It comes in the form of a presidential pardon, or the president just says, "Okay, DSS, oh yeah, do some more important things and leave this guy alone." Let's that's an aspect. But another thing is that he's a figure that is important to the geopolitical character of Nigeria. The
Okay.
Igbos, whether we like it or not, is a major component of Nigeria, a major tribe, and he is seen by that group, by that sector, as in their interest. There are some things you do not not only because of the morality or the immorality of it, but because of national interest. It's I think it would have been, since it wasn't Tinubu that put him in cell. It will be easier for Tinubu to forge an alliance with him for the betterment of Nigeria, and it doesn't stop him from pushing the Biafra is pushing. But he could even North Korea was able to have a tete-a-tete with Trump after Trump called him the Rocket Man. There's a way you can have an agreement with someone, and he decides to push his agenda along the line and wait for your tenure to finish,
Mhm.
or find a way to work together with you and say, okay, the Biafra is fighting for, it's not actually taking the power away from your own administration at the moment, but we'll find a
Okay.
way to, to bring more power, bring more representation for the people he's fighting for, and
Fighting.
more resource control. So there's a way it can be done smartly without aggravating. I think everything has to do with discourse. He's not the one that put him there once again. So he has a political leverage to be able to strike an agreement with him.
George.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, when you consider what has been happening recently in the north, where the governors are sitting with all these bandits, just with their guns and their camouflage uniforms, negotiating and still carrying this motorcycle all over the place and killing people, kidnapping people, doing all kinds of havoc in the north, and this man is still languishing in jail. It tells you a lot. Namdi Kanu, to begin with, I fought with him. At the beginning, I supported him. And I fought with him after because when I saw the direction he was going, it wasn't pleasing to me because I knew it was going to do much harm to the Igbo people. And that's exactly what took place. Many young people were killed simply because of this. So now, but that nonetheless, this man can be released. He suffered enough unjustifiably because the court already, I mean, we saw the legal step forward is, shadowed by major unresolved issues. Number one, the court said that he must be released unconditionally because the way you brought him into the nation was illegal to begin with. It was a violation of his international human constitutional rights. But they refused to do so because politics is at play. Now, you see, I used to think that it was the former president that was holding him because of all the lies that the man told about him that he died many, many years ago. So, but now we see that is even much more. I honestly believe that most of the people that are holding Nnamdi Kanu, who are actually advocating that he stays behind, are Eastern governors. They might come out and say whatever.
Allegedly, George, because
Allegedly. And now,
let's
I
not,
believe,
yeah,
I
okay.
personally believe that many of them are afraid that if he comes out, he will actually openly talk about the nonsense that some of them are doing. So you see a lot of political things happening right there. So I personally believe that this man needs to be released, but released under certain condition.
All right. Thank you,
That's
George.
what I believe.
I think
Because
a deal has to be struck. Yeah,
yes,
I believe he would be able to uphold an end of a deal.
but let the man go for goodness sake. What are we doing here? Here you
Upholding a
are.
deal.
No,
These guys
no,
are.
no, but
All
you
right.
see, you cannot
Mhm.
just
No,
talk
no, no.
about the problem. What you see Dr. Ibe is doing is giving the government an open way to deal with this situation constructively. Because you see, what they're doing to this man is illegal. It is inhumane.
All
And
right.
okay, it's a government appointed medical people who went over there and said that is able to stand trial. Trial
All
on
right.
what?
On
What
what?
court has already said that he can be
Gen-
released?
Gentlemen,
It's not fair.
I wish we started earlier like we used to, but it's time. It's time to go, George and Dr. Ibe. Um, any last words for today, Dr. Ibe? What do you have for us? Anything to tell the viewers?
Well, I pray for peace in the world
Mhm. The
and
world peace.
progress where the world is heading now, especially with the Russia Ukraine um, conflict.
Mhm.
It could really turn nuclear, and what
Could
happened to
could
Nagasaki, Hiroshima is
would
no
be a child's play.
comparison to the
Yeah,
firepower that exists today.
yeah, yeah. Everybody's holding massive gadgets now. Too much. George, tell us
Well,
any
listen,
words. But
I pray for
Mhm.
world peace also, but
Beautiful.
particularly to the places where I am very, very concerned about. I pray that the God will continue to bless our president and grant him the wisdom and all the leadership in Nigeria. And then also, what is the turning point right now is United States of America. That God will grant Trump the civility and the humane not to go against his enemies unnecessarily and to bring peace in that country. And I pray also for my country here, Canada, that God will continue to increase us and then take us away from the grip of all this economic warfare that is going on, that we may be able to prosper. That is my prayer. And my
Powerful.
country, Nigeria,
Powerful.
kudos, with the greatest
Kudos.
country in the whole world. And God will take us
All
to
right,
that place.
George, and Ibe, you guys are awesome. You've really made today's show beautiful.
Thank you
Good
for having
interview.
us.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you all. So, viewers, this is it. We've done our thing today. No break. We went straight to it. Beautiful dialogue, good opinions, and viewpoints. And we have to go. So, go have your beautiful weekend too. God keep us till we meet again next week. Bye bye.